You could have been all I wanted, but you weren't honest. Now get in the ground.
Welcome back to Let's Smoke About It with Captain Daddy.
And Nookie Puss.
Hope you enjoyed that beautiful
rendition of Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria. We've been working real hard.
Yeah, that one.
What was his name again? What was the lead singer's name? I forget.
Oh, I don't know, but
Kevin.
he's like 6'5" and he's got like a big old
half. Yeah, every time I listen to it, like I look at him sing, I'm like, I can't believe that voice is coming out of that man.
He's huge.
That's just like with Slash. Every time I hear him talk, I'm like, you're not supposed to sound like that.
You're not supposed to talk.
You're supposed to sound.
In general, you're not supposed to talk.
You're supposed to sound mean as hell.
You're supposed to sound like a wailing guitar over Guns N' Roses' Axl Rose.
It's like
your guitar tone is supposed to sound like Axl Rose singing. That's what
it's
made you guys
Slash. Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
My name is Slash. I am Norwegian.
Slash.
You didn't know that.
Well, it's just like with Travis Barker in Blink-182. When he talks after Mark and Tom, it's like totally opposite from them. It's like, this is why he doesn't talk that much.
Mm-hmm.
This
is why he just plays
he's
drums.
back there, yeah.
That's why they didn't put a mic in front of his face.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. It's kind of the same with Axl, too. Like an old interview of Guns N' Roses I was watching, Axl's, I've only listened to him sing, and he's got that crazy... crazy.
Let me see if I can muster it.
Can you, Axl?
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Yeah.
I'd say you're
And then-
pretty spot on.
Yeah, and then he gets in the interview, and he's like,
Hey, what's up, man? I'm Axel. How's it going? Yes.
incredibly deep voice. I'm like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, just like me.
How do you get that high, my guy?
He does the Michael Jackson thing where he squeezes his balls for each high note.
You think so?
That's what I have to do.
Possibly.
All I
do
know.
you just grab yourself by the balls and just really dig in there to get that high C?
By the balls.
Yes.
You want a high C? I'll give you a high C.
Give me a high C right now.
Here's that orange juice you
Thank
asked
you.
for, sir.
This is delicious.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
It's ecto cooler, right?
Put the mug up to the mic.
Dump it on the mic. Oh, it's delicious.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I'm really upset they took high C off of the fountain at McDonald's.
I'm upset that McDonald's doesn't have good food.
You should be more upset about Taco
I think that's
Bell
my
removing
biggest
the menu.
issue. Yeah, the whole potatoes leaving Taco Bell thing is actually pretty frustrating. They
I don't
got
care
rid of
that
what?
much.
They got rid of like 9 or 10 menu items as well.
Something like that. I know
The
for...
best ones. They got rid of the Frito, the crunchy Frito beef.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
that was really good. Like the
That
dollar
was one of my
figure.
yeah, it was one of my favorite items on there, and they
It's-
got rid of it.
Yeah, that one's good. They also... You can't order the quesarito, I guess, when you're there. That was my go-to is a steak quesarito. You have to order it online and ahead of time in order to get it, I guess.
Because it's too much for them to handle in the heat of the moment.
I worked there. It takes the same ingredients as everything that's already been there for years.
You can't tell me it's this much in demand. That I have to order ahead of time.
That you have
See,
to order.
you're telling
we gotta
me-
make sure we got enough steak and enough sour cream because that's our entire fucking menu.
Fuck, man. Like, you're telling me you're here making beefy 5 layers all day, which is basically the same exact way that you make a quesarito. Get out of here.
But dude, it takes a lot more. Like you gotta go hunt the steak plant. Gotta go get it.
You gotta hunt the steak plant.
Yeah, you gotta go find it.
Uses that photosynthesis to bring about the highest quality Wagyu.
It's got Wagyu and the tri-tip leaves.
all the marbling.
But you gotta
from the
make
fat
sure you
ripples.
go get the brown cows too, so you get your chalky milk with your steak.
Shake that ting, bitch. Wanna shake that ting.
Bitch.
I love those commercials. They got milk and they were over there shaking like a brown cow. They just milked it real quick.
What
and
a
it came
what a
chocolate
weird
milk.
what a weird commercial. It wasn't really for anything.
was
Like
just
milk
the got
milk is
milk.
not a brand.
No.
Like
milk in itself is a brand.
Yeah.
It's a
But
whole-
people who aren't drinking milk are usually lactose intolerant, so it's not like
yeah,
they're
I was gonna
choosing not
say
to drink
the
milk.
majority of people that I know drink milk anyway, unless
Yeah.
they're lactose intolerant.
It's
So I
just
don't
like
know why
toilet
you're.
paper commercials. It's like
Who's not
using-
wiping their own ass?
Like
Well,
I
you-
get
you-
the wet wipes one because
Well, you need to know which toilet paper that you need to be buying, because you need to be buying Quilted Northern. That's the one.
I would argue Quilted Northern does feel like a pillow on your ass, but I prefer Cottonelle because it feels like I'm wiping tire tread on my ass. And that's how I know I get it all.
that's how I really know I'm getting deep
Yeah.
into my cheeks.
It's because, Cottonelle, you sit there and you
That's-
just smear. You just smear everything until it's gone. Cottonelle, you get in there and it's like, I'm going to grab the whole amount.
I mean, I normally scoop anyway, so that
Well,
never
I scoop
happens.
too. I don't just sit there and
I sc-
mash it into my ass.
That's- That's like the best description of Cottonelle I've ever heard. Those using tire treads to
yeah,
like scrape your.
it's like they're like little waves and grooves in the thing. It's
Yeah.
Well, I
literally
mean, if
like
a bunch of, that's Charmin.
that's why you don't. But you also don't wipe it like the way that you would unroll it. You got to turn it 90 degrees so that way it's like it's going against the grain of your anus.
By
You
the
gotta turn
way,
it 90 degrees and you got to wrap it around your hand to get that full like leverage.
Yeah, because then you can just
Exactly. You come out with a swivel motion.
if you swivel your hand, then it only gets on your first finger.
and
And then I lick it off.
and then you take your middle finger and you kind of like stick it a little bit up inside your butthole, just to make sure it's clean, right?
I
Well, see, what I
can't
do
believe
is
people don't
kind
know
of like
that
when you're
pro
cleaning your
strat.
ear. You know, when you put your finger in your ear and you do this.
Oh yeah, the hang
I
loose
do that with
right
my
in the ear.
butthole. I'll just
Yeah.
get the toilet paper around my thumb, stick it in there, and then just do that.
See,
That
that's what I
cork swipe.
that's what I use my coke nail for, is to make sure I get all the residue.
Really scoop it out.
Yeah. Because once you then like go to brush it inside of your gums, you get the maximum amount of cocaine that is still going through your system. I don't
Okay,
think that's how
so-
cocaine works, which is pretty apparent that I don't actually do it. But
Yeah,
I'd
I'd
like to
know where
imagine
this
that-
cocaine came from.
that
Did you just pull it
cocaine
out of your
reserves. That's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't it be in your anus?
anus? 'Cause I think it
You know how
goes
many
in your-
people like throw plastic bags up there and they manage to either poop around it or they shit the bag out, then take a poop and then shove it right back in there?
I want to see someone pooping around.
I would like somebody to leave in the comments what actually happens when you try to either snowball crack or cocaine, which is getting it blown into your asshole, which allows you to absorb it.
Yes, yeah.
blown into your asshole.
Yeah, like through a straw or some
Yeah.
shit. Like, it's crazy.
Someone's
Yeah.
blowing into your asshole. Their mouth is on
like
that
they
straw.
they sniff up a little bit of it into like a straw, and then they like plug up the end, and then they put it in your butt and like a snot rocket, and then just all this
Someone's
cocaine.
down next to your
Oh.
asshole
Yeah.
with a straw.
Oh God.
And then you just start going to town, and
So
apparently
you were
great.
giving me an image
God
in my
damn.
mind
Well-
of snowballing, like we were gonna get a big snowball of cocaine and just like hit each other with it.
and just throw it at each other. So that
That or
we
you just
Here's $1,000 worth of coke in your face.
hell yeah.
Hope you smoke it. Hope you snort at least $5 of it.
that's what I don't understand about that level of drug use. Is I see some people just like have a mountain of like cocaine, and when I say a mountain, I mean more like a hill. But they just put like their whole face in it, and it's just like I feel like a lot of that should not have been wasted on your face. That you're probably just gonna go wash off. Like, I don't know.
It's weird.
Or like the little bits that are still left on like the edges of the nostril that aren't like getting sucked up all the way. Like, take care of that, man. If you're gonna be a real drug addict,
Wipe
you
your
might as
nose.
well
Come
fucking
on.
That's
not even wipe it. Like, if you're gonna be a true addict, like make sure you get all that shit. Like, throw the finger up there, like we were talking with the asshole, scoop up, and then rub the gum.
Yeah, you
And
really gotta
then
get it.
then after the gum, maybe put the finger back in the butt. You might have a better experience overall.
You know how you sheath a sword?
That's what you do with a dick inside of an ass. Is that
I was
what we're
gonna say
talking
my
about?
Finger. No.
Oh.
Sheath it.
Yeah, I guess we should stay
That's
on
what
topic there.
foreskin is.
That's what
It's like a sheath for
foreskin.
your
It's a
dick.
sheath.
It's a sheath
I-
for your dick.
That's why my dick is so dull.
yeah. We
It's
need
not
to
sharp anymore. It was sharp when I was a kid.
we get back on track to that because Charmin is probably the worst toilet paper I've used.
Really?
Charmin.
You ever
I
use-
like the
definitely.
bears?
I like Charmin. It's
Charmin extra strong
yeah, exactly.
because it's weak. It's
Is it
It's incredibly weak.
Yep.
Every time I go to wipe my freaking butt with
Hold
it,
on, I'm gonna go check what kind
it-
of toilet paper
it
I have.
it rips every fucking time.
I have that issue with the Ultra Soft from Charmin. I think the Ultra Strong can at least hold up a little bit to the level of force. Granted, I probably use a little bit more than necessary per wipe, but that's also because I'm a big ass man and I know my limits. And I definitely don't want to get shit finger ever again.
Like it's thick. Like it's
throwing in a new challenger on the toilet paper thing. What about Angel Soft?
Angel Soft's good.
What's your opinion on that? I had to go check what toilet paper I was using, and that
Angel
was
Soft for me is
It's nice and thick. I like that.
it's like getting a squirt when you wanted a Mountain Dew.
What an analogy.
Or like
What
squirt.
an
Oh,
analogy that is.
I guess they're kind of similar. I was
Yeah, they're
thinking.
kinda.
I was thinking more like Mellow Yellow.
That's fair. Mellow Yellow is a closer representation.
I mean,
Yeah,
you could go easy and just Coke or Pepsi because it's same thing.
Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Pepsi. Good.
Pepsi all day.
Pepsi all day long.
Polar bears shouldn't let their kids drink this.
Polar bears shouldn't let their kids drink this.
Sir, it has to be an empty can.
Where would the CIA?
Oh man, that really bums me out.
It's so funny because he tries to use those CIA credentials in like certain situations and they don't work, and then other situations where he could have just done it and it would have totally worked, he doesn't even think to use it. Like the water park, or like that one. That's the time that it would have worked. Or when he's at the restaurant trying to get in with no reservation. Stan Smith of the CIA. The CIA. Right this way, sir.
That episode's great because they blow him off a CIA agent like he's nothing, but this
Mhm.
minute he's a meter maid. He's like a god.
And then he starts threatening him with like parking boots and shit. Nissan Sentra, right?
turquoise. Be a shame if you woke up with a boot on
But of course. Todd White of White Used Cars. Aha!
it.
Remember, you'll never be robbed by a white guy.
I love that.
All right. After our initial introductory conversation about poop and
Buttholes.
cocaine and buttholes,
Can't forget
Um,
about buttholes.
let's talk some anime.
Animes?
Animas.
Anime.
Animes.
Animes, not enemas.
Let's get back on that poop and ass train.
Enemas. How do you feel
Enemas.
about it? I got one yesterday. What about you? Did you get one?
I got 2 yesterday.
What about
I
you?
can't live without my coffee enema in the morning. Fuck drinking it.
I
Might as
just
well
had
shove
one.
it right into the source.
I had one like 20 minutes ago.
Do you know those
That's
turkey
gross.
basters? Yeah, I use it to shoot coffee up my butt.
We were gonna go right back into cocaine,
I mean, I was thinking Coke, the Coca-Cola.
which used to have cocaine in it. So we're still there.
No, it had cookies.
Let's go back to the
I just-
1800s.
I kind of wish that it like soda still had cocaine in it. Like yeah, sugar and caffeine is like I get some energy, but like cocaine, I'd probably be unstoppable at work if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I think you would develop an addiction.
and that.
I already have an addiction to soda. Why wouldn't I want to become more addicted?
Because caffeine doesn't ruin your life.
It can.
Because
You can die, dude. Heart attack.
not like-
It causes heart disease.
Not from death. I'm talking about like if you do Coke once or whatever, you spiral out of control because you want more Coke.
Yeah, but if you drink enough soda within a certain 24-hour time frame, I'm sure your heart could explode anyway,
Yeah.
or your liver would fail.
Well, I mean, you start shaking when you have too many cups of coffee. At least I do, anyway.
Your nipples start to really hurt if you drink too much soda,
I've never.
and you start
experienced
like
Well-
burping sulfur. That's weird.
Ew.
that. I think you might be dying.
Nah, I don't
Then
think
you go
that's
get
true.
that checked. I don't know. That nipple thing seems intense.
It's
That's
pretty bad. It
everything
just feels
tastes
like
like
they're
copper.
chafing, which is weird because never in my like 20 years prior to that experience had I ever experienced that. And I used to drink so much soda, and then just one day, I guess over like a 72-hour time frame, I had too much. Woke up the next morning, had to go to work, and my nipples were killing me. And I was burping like every probably 3 to 5 minutes, and it was just pure sulfur, or at least
Man,
what it smelled like. So I was
mine
not
is-
stoked about it.
That sounds awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's definitely not an enjoyable experience. I don't recommend it to anybody, but that's also why I now drink 2 gallons of water a day. I mean, that's not the only reason why, but
You always gotta drink
I
water.
drink it so well because of my job detail.
Yeah.
Work 12 to 14 hours a day doing that shit like out in the middle of the summer heat. No, thank you. Of course I got to drink a lot of water, otherwise I'm going to die.
Hydrate or die.
Hydrate or die, bitch.
I've experienced early stages of dehydration. I never want to do that again.
Ugh, it's so bad, dude.
It sucks. You cramp up, everything cramps. Just sitting in my car on the way home from work, I was cramping up like in my lower back, just sitting there. I'm like, like I'm an old man who's fallen out of his wheelchair.
Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. And it's because I don't drink enough water.
Not enough at all.
What an awful thing to say for a young man who should be in the prime health of his life. All because he didn't drink enough
Pro-
Wawa.
explain what prime would be. Define prime to me.
Well, how about this? If you define your prime as anywhere between the ages of 14 to 18, you're probably no longer in the prime of your life and are in a downward spiral.
I think I had 1 year being in my prime, and that was probably 20, and that was it.
My
I don't know.
prime was between 16 and 22. I'd say physically I'm probably a little bit better off right now, but I also don't take care of myself nearly as well as I used to back then, so I wouldn't necessarily call this my prime. I'm not far away from my prime. I could very well get back into it, but I wouldn't say at
This
this
can't be our
conjuncture
prime.
in my life I'm not in my prime.
It's all downhill after this.
Oh man, we've peaked.
Well, I did.
This can't be my peak.
I did
This can't be
recently.
my peak.
I did recently turn 25, and apparently after you turn 25, your cells
Oh,
start
yeah.
to die off a lot faster than. By the way, thanks for the happy birthday wishes, you asshole.
I said happy birthday.
I know you did.
Get
That's
outta
why I
here.
said thank you.
Oh, okay. I was like, get the hell out of here.
birthday
To you.
You guys are a month too late.
Happy birthday.
Real
Get
note,
out of
though.
here.
I sent you a Facebook message.
And I sent it to your face
I
in
don't believe
Discord.
that.
I bet you $1.
Because I asked
A
you
whole
how
ass
your
dollar?
birthday was. and you
Whole
said
ass.
August 14th, August. Yo, happy birthday, dude, at 5 o'clock. Yes, you did.
Hey, you're not supposed to say names. Way to go.
5 a.m. Was it 5 a.m. or 5 p.m.?
It's not his name. I just say because that's. Let's be real.
Something about animes. You said something about
Animes
animes.
or animes?
Animes.
Animes.
Anime.
I said something about animes as if that's not what we do with the majority of our time.
Say something about animes?
Yeah, we always talk about animes.
Yeah, we were just talking about Naruto before we walked into
We were
this
talking
room.
so much Naruto and our disappointment in Boruto.
Yeah.
How the...
If you're gonna look at Boruto, just read it.
Yeah,
It's good.
in the manga, it's definitely a lot better than the show.
There's some
right now.
weird shit. Like straight up, they found a crash ship. Hopefully this isn't spoiling anybody, but spoiler warning here. Konohamaru goes
warning.
and finds this downed ship, and there's like an empty casket, and it's got like a control panel on it. And he's like, "Oh, here we go." And he pulls a scroll out, and he takes the top of the scroll off, and it's a fucking USB scroll that he sticks into the fucking thing. to
What?
Download digital files.
That's crazy. How fast did they like advance their technology from Shippuden to Boruto?
Even faster than they did from Avatar: The Last Airbender to The Legend of Korra.
I
Yeah.
have yet to see Legend of Korra, so I don't know.
So do I, but I understand that the city structures in Legend of Korra is way more.
Well, I've seen clips of robots. A dude driving a huge robot.
Shit like that, yeah. That's what I don't understand is how within that 100 years that happened.
Well, it can't be 100 years because Aang's still alive. It's just still...
That said within
Aang's dead.
within the 100 years.
Isn't that Aang, though, in Legend of Korra?
No, that's his son. The
Oh.
two
Yeah.
avatars can't exist in the same
Yeah.
at the same time. One has to die before the next
For
avatar
some
comes
reason, I
around.
thought that was Aang the whole time.
No, it's Tenzin.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't seen it.
And then Tenzin's
Yeah,
little.
because for Korra to
bunky-ass
be the
kids.
next avatar, the previous has to die,
Mhm.
and then it's resurrected in a new person.
Oh,
You know how
okay.
much trouble they'd get into if there was two avatars in the same time frame? Holy
It's just
fuck.
like the...
That'd break the cycle. Could you imagine if they fought each other and killed each other in the avatar state and it just implodes the universe because the fucking energies of the spirit world can't handle it?
Can't hang. Planet's
be
just
great.
collapsing on itself.
Let's talk about how easy it was for let me go back. Not easy, but how he was able to access certain parts of the spirit world himself
Who?
without being General Iroh. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
I stopped midway through his name, but
The
I just thought
general.
that's crazy because technically nobody should be really able to get to the spirit world except for the Avatar. That's the whole point. He's the bridge between.
Yeah.
Right.
So then, how is General Iroh able to get there?
Because he's just at peace with himself completely.
Yeah, it has to do with like that level of meditation and like
It has to be, 'cause
understanding
he's,
of the
like,
universe.
He's like at peace with himself as a whole being
Mhm.
and everything around him. So I could totally see him being able to.
He's part of the White Lotus.
Yeah.
He's got his homies.
Do you guys believe that Momo is secretly Monkey Atso?
Potentially.
Sure. I'll take that as headcanon.
I would like to,
As long as you believe
But-
in reincarnation.
due to loyalty reasons. I don't think anything else that Momo does really proves that it would be actually Gyatso. But
I mean, I saw him fucking around with some cactus, and I think Gyatso was an avid cactus lover.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
perfect
being
sense.
being an air nomad, he's probably traversed the desert at one point in his life.
But you
seen
can't
a
grow
cactus
you can't
fucking
grow cactuses on those
Drink
mountaintops.
Yeah, you can't grow a cactus on the mountain. It's impossible.
That's what I'm
Just
saying.
talk about.
He totally could have been an avid cactus lover. Just he's got one room.
It's the quenchiest.
It's the quenchiest.
It's a giant mushroom.
Maybe it's friendly.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend once. She turned into a moon.
That's rough, buddy.
I love I saw a meme about that. Someone breaking that down and how Zuko didn't really even question it.
Mm-hmm.
Just went with it.
It just happens.
That's rough, man.
Well, shit, he was there, kinda.
Yeah, but he wasn't really paying
He was
attention.
He was an angry
Not
young
to,
man at
like,
that point.
Not to their relationship thing, because that was kind of happening behind.
I'm so happy that Zhao got his ass kicked.
Deserved it.
Let's be realistic, though. Nothing ever proved that he died. So who's to say that he didn't come back, or shouldn't have come back within the Avatar timeline that we got to see?
Trying to remember who Zhao was. He was just like the main general
Admiral
guy.
Zhao.
Admiral Zhao. Yeah.
In the
Zuko's-
first season. It was when Aang goes all like super monster at the Northern Water Tribe that he gets like spat out, or he gets thrown across the city, and then like the water comes up and like grabs him and like takes him away.
Oh, when he's in his water spirit form out in the ocean,
Yeah.
thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he
'cause gets
takes him
wrecked.
away. He doesn't necessarily just like murder him right then and there.
No,
He
I
just
think
takes
he
him
totally
away, so-
drowned. I think
That would probably be the best explanation for it.
I think Aang
since
took
there
him to the
isn't one.
bottom of the ocean and just kind of like
Just
They just won't come out and say it because it's a kid's show.
Davy Jones his ass.
there was a whole post about how many people that they actually had killed, and how Aang was trying to defend himself, saying that it wasn't actually him who killed everybody, because the only times he ever like seriously hurt people throughout the show was usually when he was in the Avatar state. So
Yeah.
it technically wasn't him, so he couldn't be held accountable for it. Like, what a cop out!
Yeah, no,
You're the one that lost control.
Right? Naruto fucking took full blame for everything when he went in the Nine Tails form.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
As he should have.
he's like, technically, yeah, that wasn't me. Because especially when he goes Four Tails, I mean, he's not even conscious.
He loses all self.
So technically, yes, it isn't him, but he still feels bad. He's like, no, that was me.
I was gonna say because you, as a being, still have to be there for that event to happen. So it's like
Yep,
I
you
know
still
it's
have
not
to
you
be-
consciously.
I
But
lost my
that's-
cool.
That's physically you.
Yeah,
That's the same argument that we try and use for like day to day and life to life of like, oh, I blacked out, or oh, I only saw red, so I don't know what happened or whatever.
still
like,
you, motherfucker.
that's still you, motherfucker. Like
Yeah.
at some point you were making that decision regardless. You decided to lose control or get so fucking drunk per se
I was
that
gonna
you
say-
just can't remember.
You let yourself get to the point to where you quote unquote lost control. So
You-
therefore, it's still your fault.
You let yourself get to that point where you fucked around and you found out. And now you're in trouble.
There's never a point when I was intoxicated enough, even when I was like the one time I was blackout drunk, where like I wasn't at least conscious of what kind of actions I was doing. Like, yeah,
But
later I don't remember, but I just know in the moment I've never made like stupid decisions like that. Maybe stuff to like hurt myself.
I
Right.
was gonna say maybe self-inflicting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I do that sober anyway. But,
That's fair.
but
That's a
yeah,
pretty
like
fair statement.
when people like they go to cheat on somebody or I don't know, toss someone over a fence or something.
Yeah, they start fights and shit like that.
Mhm.
Like, just
Yeah, it's
get
like that's not
belligerent.
me though. That's the alcohol. I'm like, no, that's exactly what the fuck you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
At
you're
some
still
point
doing
you
it.
had to make that decision
That
to
you
allow
just-
that to happen.
Yeah,
Because the last time I was blackout drunk, like the little bits of memory that come in between, there's one point where I was either just walking around talking like an idiot, me saying stuff that's I guess different potentially
Right.
because it just sounds dumb. It's just
It's just gibberish.
yeah. But at one point I remember coming in and I wasn't in a fight. No, I was helping at CUNA days. I should not have been doing that.
out in public at a huge festival.
Yeah, but I was setting up the table with hamburger and hot dog buns. I was
Hell
like
yeah.
putting them out. I don't know how I got into that position. I don't know how the fuck I got roped into that, but if I was helping set up the barbecue somehow.
I was gonna say there's a lot of missed bits of information to get to there. And I really want to know how you got to that
Unfortunately,
point.
we'll never know because I don't remember.
We got to go into your brain and access the deep recesses of your memory.
I wish I could. Did you ever see the movie with Robin Williams called Final Cut?
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like in the near future where everybody when you're born is implanted with like a video camera behind your eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and it records literally your entire life.
Oh.
And then there's
It's actually kind of fucking.
there's a
crazy.
job that comes up, and you're a cutter, and when somebody dies, you go through and edit a video for the funeral of their life
That's
through their
crazy.
Yeah,
And that was-
and then like it gets like complicated with like stuff. Like he sees something in somebody's vision, and like there's secrets, and he has to like.
I just saw a murder from this
yeah,
person.
I won't spoil the ending, but
Oh, damn.
it's cool. It was a cool like idea. I was like, whoa. I'm like, if you have video of your entire life, I'm like, man, I could go back and I could figure out what the fuck I was. How the hell did I go from walking by the creek and by the skate park, and all of a sudden I'm helping set up a barbecue for a large event outside, and I'm shit faced.
Yeah.
Figure out how you
completely-
got to this point.
Yeah. How did we end up here? No, that would be sweet. And that's like on. I just wish we can augment human bodies, because
Yeah.
that would be cool to be able.
We need to
do
get to that
like,
point
at
already.
least one eye. You make it a robotic eye to where
Mhm.
you can just record stuff. You just
That too, yeah.
pop out a little.
Who needs a
SD card.
body cam when you have a robot eye?
I mean, it would help the blind.
Oh yeah. Imagine how difficult that must be, though, to be able to try and access the brain function of somebody who would be blind, to give them something that would actually let them be able to see.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
It's all we
It would
hope
take
for.
a lot, but yeah, that's all we do hope
That's
for.
like
is that
the
science and technology advances to that point.
yeah. That's like finding like I hope in my lifetime they find something that cures tinnitus, because man, would that be awesome.
That'd be sweet.
I-
There's a lot of things that I wish the world would kind of jump on, but at the same time I understand that there probably isn't enough people that feel like getting into that field of research isn't a viable option for them, right? Like obviously the multiple forms of cancer that are in the world, things like tinnitus, fibromyalgia, where it's just straight pain in the nerves, like
yeah,
there's got to be
chronic pain issues
Mhm.
like ugh.
problems with like
Yeah.
well, we were talking about it at one point, but like stem cell research, things for
Oh.
like knee replacement, shoulder replacement,
Yeah,
like
no,
joints
definitely
and everything like
joint.
that. So
Joint replacement.
there's
would
just
be nice.
I feel like that's why maybe we're not as far along, is because there's not enough people that are like, hey, that makes sense to go and try and research and try and figure out, because you never know. All three of us could jump into the same field of research and we'd all have different ideas and ways of thinking about how a certain thing could be cured, and as opposed to not having anybody looking into it.
It
the
goes
way
back
that
to the
we
moral
would.
issue with the stem cells. No one wants to use
Yeah, nobody wants
baby,
to dive into it.
dead babies to help better human health, because it's immoral.
Mhm.
No, it's not.
They're not
It-
even full babies. It's a fucking sack of.
It's a bunch of cells, human-made cells.
Mhm.
Why don't we just use that to try to better the lives?
Well, I just don't think that should happen to begin with.
It happens.
It does happen. It's going to happen regardless of what you think. Now, why would you not agree that helping better people who are still currently alive is a viable reason to use those cells as opposed to just throwing them away?
Yeah, you're just dumping it into the ground because, well, that was someone's kid. Well, yeah, I get it, and the memory should still be
But
there.
now it's somebody's knee.
Yeah, but now we could use those cells to, like, yeah, fix
Now
this
it's
guy's
giving
knee.
someone sight or new knee cartilage. Or
That's
I
like
just
being an
don't-
organ donor, seeing those videos of someone getting a new heart.
Mhm.
It's like,
yeah,
why people are okay with something like that, but not whole body,
Mhm.
whole cell body.
yeah.
Being able to actually use the regenerative process and the formation of those cells to create something.
Yeah, I find
And-
it crazy how some people like don't be an organ donor. They're like, no.
Like,
I'm
dude,
like-
you're dead.
Yeah.
You don't need them anymore. Why wouldn't you?
What are
give
you
up
gonna
your
do with
organs?
that?
Right,
Ugh,
you
I
got
don't
like
get it.
a perfectly good lung or liver or heart.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, fucking be useful.
Why
I was
wouldn't
say the
you
one
want that
organ that's
touching
probably
moment?
not good in my body is my lungs. It's
Why
probably not
wouldn't
worth anything.
Why wouldn't you want the touching moment where your mom goes and meets the woman who got your heart after you died?
Those videos are always nice and touching.
They are
Listen
very
to the
touching.
heartbeat.
So why wouldn't you want that for your parents?
Yeah, that is also
Even
kind of
after you're dead, they can listen to your heartbeat.
that is also kind of a sad story. That's assuming the child died at a young age because their mom's still alive. They had to watch their kid die.
No one wants to bury their
like,
kid.
If I could die right now, and my mom would still have to be at my funeral.
True.
I'm definitely not a child by any stretch.
Life
but
is fickle. We can die at any moment.
You could die in your sleep right now. You want some
that's
pops?
the dream.
There's people that randomly
Funko Pops.
have heart attacks and
Mhm.
like
I honestly
or strokes.
I don't believe that like dying
Heart
of
attacks
natural
are the
causes
craziest.
doesn't happen like unless you're super old. Like the people, he passed away peacefully in his sleep. I'd like to think that whoever was in the bed with them, if they did have somebody, was just conked out, right? And the person wakes up and they're like having an asthma attack or a heart attack or something, and they are like sitting there struggling, and then they just die, as opposed to, oh no, his heart just stopped beating. Like, yeah, but he was 50. I don't
know.
believe
That still could be a natural cause because your body just kind of shuts off. You are an organism.
Okay, it would be a natural cause, but it wouldn't be peaceful, I guess is my argument.
Well,
If
the
they
asthma
don't- they
attack
don't go
wouldn't be a
peaceful.
natural cause. He died of an asthma attack.
Exactly.
That wouldn't be like, oh, they
Heart-
just.
I mean, okay, but you'd argue that heart attack is a natural cause?
no, not a heart attack. Like just you dying in your sleep. You're just you're like 60
right,
years
but
old.
but I don't believe that happens unless you're old, where your body just shuts off.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like natural causes doesn't happen until I'd say 65 and over.
Yeah, depending on how you lived your life.
Yeah,
True.
yeah, very bad.
Exactly.
if you take like people from my family, like my grandpa died from a heart attack in his sleep.
Mhm.
So he died in his sleep, but it was because he had a heart attack. And I also know that he was a heavy drinker too. So
Yeah.
And that it doesn't help. But with that raises the question: do you experience a heart attack in your sleep, or did
I
it
would
just
imagine.
happen?
I'd imagine you'd probably feel the initial pain, and that would be enough to wake you up, and then the crippling, because I'd imagine your limbs probably don't work the way that they should when you are having a heart attack. I don't know how that operates, but at the same time, I have seen plenty of stories where people have gone about their daily lives while currently experiencing a heart attack, even though it's minor, but they're still able to do stuff.
I'd say women
and
are
they
at the
don't
bigger risk of
realize
heart
it.
attacks, and they just they get the biggest. They're at most risk of heart attacks because they experience chest pains all the time, and a chest pain could be a heart attack. You don't even know about
You just
it.
never know.
Yeah.
It's always that random stabbing pain where you think, "Oh, this is it." Well,
This
one
is
of
how
these
I
days,
go.
one of these days, it's gonna be it.
That's why a lot of you go to a hospital, they have a specific center called the chest pain center. And that's where you go.
It's a whole center for chest pain.
I was there yesterday and I saw signs, the chest pain center. I'm like, oh, hey, look at that, specifically for chest pains. 'Cause who fucking knows?
Well, shit, I deal with those daily.
I'm
Maybe I
just
should
glad that they got the signs down for a lot of life-threatening things like seizures and heart attacks.
Oh yeah.
If you're experiencing these things, this is what's happening.
Mhm.
It's like cool. I got at least 5 to 10 minutes to get to someone to get me to a
Right.
hospital.
Exactly.
Or God forbid you have a stroke, like left side of your face goes numb and droopy and your like arm goes numb and you're just like, uh-oh, stroke time.
Like it's a common occurrence. Stroke time. Let's go. Get in the car.
Yeah,
As
grab
long
my
as
s-
it's not a manual and I don't have to use the clutch.
Let me
we're
just
all
grab
right.
my stroke jacket.
My
It's only got one arm.
Yeah, and that's scary too because that shit can happen to
Any
anybody.
point.
Any
Yeah.
moment.
Mhm.
It
It's
like-
just a brain thing where it's like something fires weird,
Yep.
stroke.
Done.
That and it's
now you can't
it's
remember
a
the word for
blood clot.
cheeseburger.
Yeah, it's a blood clot in your brain,
Oh.
and it starts.
Well, that's even worse.
Yeah, so like
Don't be stressed out, kids.
you could be you could work out every day and you don't smoke or drink or anything, and then just one day you have a stroke and just there you go.
That could be it. See,
now
with the
you're
brain
kind of half
aneurysm,
crazy.
Yeah, or brain aneurysm.
all of
Oh,
a
God.
sudden the spinal cord,
Yep.
the thing, whatever behind your brain, just goes off. You're done. Like that's what
medulla
happened to
oblongata?
not Brett Michaels.
My mother,
Did your mom have brain aneurysm?
she did.
Oh,
I mean, she's okay.
well, that's
Because
good.
granted, it didn't grow. Like they caught it fast enough that it didn't grow and like cause any true like pressure or anything. In
So
her
what does it
brain or
really do
anything
then?
like that.
Since you've experienced it.
Hers didn't cause any problems. She got lucky.
Well,
But
how did she-
But
how
that's
did-
because
Let's say, how did she know about it? How did she
Uh,
realize?
my mom lately has been very adamant about making sure that she is up to date on all of her health records in terms of like the medical field. So like once every 6 months or so, she like goes and gets like full fucking scans of everything.
Oh, nice.
Which, yeah, sure, that's great. I'm glad that you're taking that level of like interest and seriousness into your health into account. But fuck, woman, you're spending a lot of money for that to keep that up to date on it. Like once a year, maybe that would make a little more sense.
Well, it's like
But-
unless you have the insurance to cover all those visits.
Yeah, that too. Like I, in no way, I can't even go down to the fucking urgent care for a cough. Like if it starts to
No.
get serious, I can't. If like my back is absolutely killing me because of an injury that I sustained 10 years ago in sports, I can't go into a doctor to see about getting it taken care of. I can't go for
You can
my
go into a
knees. I can't
chiropractor.
go for my hips.
Don't go to a
I
chiropractor.
can't. I don't have the money
They're
for
quacks.
that.
They
Yeah,
don't know
they're
anything.
quacks, and well,
No, I'm just talking about
they're
for
not
an alignment.
okay.
For
Depending on
alignment.
even then, the alignment's tough because they need to do like full X-rays and have like a it's like a physical therapy plan virtually, because they can reset. Like if they get you reset, that's all fine and good. But because of how long you've been in that state, like me, like for 10 years, I've had this back injury. My back would just like if I go to sleep one night and I sleep wrong, it could be right back.
Oh,
And then
that's
I'd have
true.
to, yeah. So they have to do X-rays.
Just
they have
slides
to
back
do
into position.
Yeah, they have to do like monthly like appointments and stuff to make sure that you like maintain and like your muscles and everything like regrow
Okay.
back to the way it's supposed to be in order for it to be truly helpful. A lot of
Yeah.
them don't do it that way, but
I guess I just don't have serious back problems then because I can go down to the joint. It's like $30. You just walk in, walk out,
Yeah.
get a
Really?
readjustment. Yeah,
I-
no, it's not any
I-
X-rays or anything like that.
You could get like
Damn.
about the same level of alignment and stuff if you just got a massage
And I haven't done that. I really would like to
as
go
a
to massage.
chiropractor. That's why I won't go. And plus, you can also get fucked up too if they're
Mhm.
doing it. Like
I heard
Yeah.
about a lady
it
who
can get worse.
got a pinched nerve and partially paralyzed her from a chiropractic because it popped her neck. It hit that nerve.
I saw a
Mhm.
video of a dude and he was like gonna like realign this lady's neck, and he goes, and it's just and it hurt. She's face down. You can't really see her at all, other than like her head and her back and everything. And he's looking at her. He's grabs her head, and he's like, "All right, 1, 2, 3," and he like twists it so like forcefully, and you hear this whole, and then he is like sitting there still holding her head, and then you see like just straight panic in his eyes.
He's dead.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, no, that felt great." And then he like starts to relax and breathe and everything, but it's like, fuck, dude, you went to school for this and like that still scared you that much because you thought you accidentally killed somebody? There's too much of an X factor.
Yeah, no,
when
that's
it comes
a huge
to that
factor.
level. Yeah, when it comes to that kind of like medical science, I guess.
Pseudo medical
Yeah.
degree or whatever they got.
When you gotta jerk someone that hard to get something to
Mhm.
pop,
And
well,
they're-
probably shouldn't do it like
well,
that.
Because
I think their whole like, I mean, this is probably only for a select few, but their whole thing is to get you to keep coming back.
Mhm.
It's very temporary stuff. You know,
Of
they're
course.
like, yeah, here you go, and it won't ever fix anything. Unfortunately, you have to like actually go see a doctor, and you know what could help? So you go the single taxpayer way of universal health care, Medicare for all.
socialism.
Yeah. See, I'm like, I
I agree though.
agree halfway with the socialism.
And then the other half is like, what the fuck?
Well,
Just
no,
like,
the other
just
half,
like single payer, single taxpayer.
I don't know why everyone has a problem with that.
With universal health care?
Yeah.
Yeah. No
I don't
clue.
want to pay for it.
because you want the.
It's like you're already paying for it technically.
Why-
You just have to pay it
Why
to
are
a different
you so
company.
afraid for your tax money to actually go to something useful?
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to pick their doctor and have the freedom to
Oh, no.
pick their.
It's not that. It's
Sure.
because it's going to someone else. I'm working my hard-earned money. Why should someone else use my money
Mm-hmm.
to go to the doctor? It's because you're a good fucking person. I don't know.
Because
You want to help out the world.
I mean, you'd
like,
think-
Jesus.
I mean,
You would
if
think.
if you look at an economy, I mean, people are worth more alive than dead. So why not make everybody healthy so that
Not in
Because even though
capitalism.
they're alive, it's still more beneficial to keep them paying for stuff that is only going to temporarily treat their symptoms, so they have to pay more money
Right.
overall.
Why cure someone when you can bill them every step of the way?
Exactly. That's why we have the cure for cancer, and we haven't given it to anybody yet. Because it's easier to just treat the ever-living hell out of them for months and then turn around and watch them die and then get to charge them extra for having to dispose of the body.
Well, then see too, if we had universal health,
sounds like it's from
healthcare,
Family Guy. It is from
Probably.
Family Guy.
I don't know if it's 100%.
I'm pretty
from
sure
Family
that's
Guy, but-
exactly what Lois's dad says to Brian in an episode.
The beginning part of that, yes. I don't think like yeah. The generalization of the idea, I don't think word for word. I think there's a few original
Yeah.
ideas I'd like to think I came up with.
But see, if universal health care became a thing, then all these insurance companies would lose money because
Yeah.
they can't just fuck Jim and John out
Exactly.
of $700
For a fucking prescription.
for not even that. It's just giving you your medicine you need monthly to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, you go get
Insulin and shit.
You go
Yeah.
in for a checkup, and all they gave you was one ibuprofen and an IV. That's like $1,000.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
it's
just had a
super
kid? I
frustrating.
guess now you're 6 digits in debt.
Yeah. Oh, you want to be able to hold your child before we take him away from you initially?
$100.
It's more than that.
Oh God.
One of my best friend had his first kid last December, and he told me what the additional amount was, but I don't remember what it is. But
Yeah.
it's fucking retarded.
It's stupid.
It's so
And it-
dumb. It's like, that's my goddamn child. Like, and you're gonna charge me money to hold him after my wife pushes him out of her fucking clam hole.
Right.
Like, that's an
Yeah,
awful way to say
You're
vagina.
right. But that's true, though. I mean,
but it's disgusting. Why do we do that?
Well, it's why more women are doing the at-home births.
Yeah.
Like, more power to you. I don't know how the fuck you're doing that.
Well,
but-
and it's funny too because a lot of them, they'll go through that first pregnancy, they'll do the whole hospital and doctor thing, and they'll see that amount, and then as they like maybe have like one or two more, they go to that, and they're like, it still sucked, but overall it was a better experience, and we're not, like you were saying, 6 digits in fucking debt just for having a goddamn kid.
I was going to say, the only moment it sucks is when you're in the middle of pushing. Everything
Mhm.
after that is
Yeah.
roses because you have no money to pay. The
Mhm.
kid's right there. You're
Yeah.
already home.
You're usually a lot better off because the people who you're what
You're
are
not
they
in a
called?
stressful situation.
Your Beulahs.
yeah, the
You're-
people delivering?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think well there's a couple of different terms for them, and I don't know if it
Housewife? No,
Sherpa.
housewife.
well not Sherpa. You fucking out of your mind. No,
The shamans?
it's
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
It's like a.
but I don't know if it is referring to like a hierarchy of them. I know
It-
Beulah's one of them. I know that
It
there's
is because it used to go back to the monarchy where these women who would stay at the house delivered the babies for the royalty.
for the royalty.
And not housewife. It was like a Full Metal
Midwife.
Alchemist. Huh?
Midwife.
Midwife. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Midwife.
my midwife crisis.
Because in Full Metal Alchemist, Ed is the midwife.
yeah.
He's a midwife to help
That's
what's their
right.
face deliver that baby.
I think it's funny how we started talking about anime, and then we go off onto this whole direction of.
Well, that's the beauty of
Medical.
this.
That's the beauty of this
show,
podcast,
the
yeah.
show.
Yeah,
Let's
but we're
talk
back to
about it.
anime. Let's get
We
Full
don't
Metal
we don't need
Alchemist.
to be. We can keep with medical, or we can go back. Let's hear it in the
Yes.
comments.
You
What
know
do
what the
wanna hear
slogan
more
of this
about?
show is? It's a topic with no real direction.
Exactly. That's the entire point and purpose of the show. If you don't like it, well, tell your friends
Go write me a letter.
and let them decide for themselves if they like us.
If you,
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah, give us
Please.
more views.
Tell me. We're starving. We're
I wanna
doing
be-
this in a
we're s-
box right now.
All I want is a goddamn cheeseburger, and I can't go and afford it because
I
not
want to
enough
be
people are listening.
monetized.
I want to be monetized, and yet we're just gonna swear.
No,
We're gonna talk about
be good
inappropriate
Christian
topics.
boys.
I tell you what, though, I have gotten really good at
tell you
telling
what.
my customers about
To
the
go F
podcast,
themselves? Oh.
but not telling them anything about it and telling them that it's not something that they should ever listen to because it's definitely not family friendly.
Well, and when you say it like that, it's gonna be like, well, why shouldn't I listen to it? And
Exactly.
go
Well,
listen to it.
and I tell them too. I just tell them, I'm like, we just talk about topics that are incredibly controversial, and I don't want to like, it's like I really don't know you too much. I know you well enough to be friendly to you for the initial time frame that we're interacting, and I, would like to share that. Hey, I have other interests and passions outside of work, so you can actually try and help me to get home earlier, as opposed to thinking that I'm just a peon there to work fucking 6 days a week. And so but that's what I tell them. I'm just like, it's too controversial as of right now in the society that we live in, that too many people have too many extremist ideas of how the world should be run. And I'm not saying that our ideas are extremist to some, but
I'm not saying I'm an extremist in any way.
yeah, we don't believe we are. Whereas you talk to anybody from like the far right and listen to our stances on abortions and stem cells, they're going to freak the fuck out, man. That's just how it's going to happen.
My
But-
problem lies with that Bible thumping side of
Exactly.
America. They're so blinded by
by their faith.
their faith that they can't see that they're actually hindering humanity as a whole.
Which is ridiculous because I've been in a mock Congress session where it was basically 4 Dems versus 36 Republicans, and then 4 of us as the Libertarian
I don't
Party
like those
who
odds.
understand, both sides. And The only argument that any of the Republicans had in this mock Congress session was in regards to their faith. It's like, get your fucking faith out of politics. That's the entire point and purpose of why we're going. I don't give a shit if our country was founded on the principles of God. What
It
if
was
you look
founded
at
on
By the way, it wasn't.
It wasn't. If you look at the Declaration of Independence, of all 3,000 to 7,000 words of whatever, nowhere in it does it say anything about Jesus Christ, God, religion,
The
Bible,
only
anything.
thing that we did
Nope.
for religion was gave you the freedom to practice any religion.
To practice any religion.
But
Not
doesn't
to,
mean the government's going to be ran by your religion.
not by any stretch.
It just
we were
means-
founded on principles of God. Shut the fuck up and realize that the South lost all those years ago, and you need to get
yeah,
with it.
or like this is a Christian country. It's like it was not. Did not start as a
If
Christian
anything,
country.
it was whatever gods Native Americans followed because they were here first.
Oh yeah, for
Gaia, Mother Earth.
Was that Native Americans? Or was
I'm-
that more
I'm-
pagan?
I'm pretty sure.
Gaia?
I don't think that the Native American. And don't get me wrong, we're speaking out of complete ignorance here
Yeah.
when we're talking about this. But
I don't know anything about it.
I don't know
Me
anything
neither.
about it either. But I would like to think that the Native Americans were more adamant towards something like Gaia, even if they never truly because they're about like Earth in general and like fulfilling a full cycle and understanding their place amongst the world.
When it was just like
rather
the
than-
Nords, too.
exactly.
Very like Earth.
Yeah, so I bet
Very
I
earthy.
bet they share a lot with like the heathens and the pagans, like the Nords were.
Goddamn heathens.
But I don't think that they were like, oh, Gaia All Mother or whatever, like actually like praising to her and whatnot. They just accepted that like Mother Nature and like Earth in general have a full cycle and they understood their place within it. Whereas
Yeah, and they have so
Christianity
much.
is
Earth
like,
has so
no,
much to
fuck
give.
that. We're gonna just plow through. We're gonna do whatever we
Manifest
want.
destiny.
Yeah, we're gonna. If you don't believe this, you're a heathen and you have no place within this world. We're gonna massacre your kind until you all believe as well. Like, how fucked is that?
So
Let's just
outside of
fuck the Romans.
like the Civil War, I would say most wars are backed by religious hatred.
Yeah, the Crusades.
World War One was not. No.
It's
World War
the
Two.
assassination of Archduke Ferdinand.
I would say World War One was more of an
Ferdinand.
assassination for monarchy,
Mhm.
but World War Two was against
Against religious
a
views.
religious
Yep.
group of people.
And why do you think we're currently at war with the Middle East right now?
'Cause of
we have
religion.
different. Yeah, we have different viewpoints on religion, and we want to steal all their oil and opiates.
Which is hilarious because it's like, oh, that's an Islamic extremist. Look at them standing there with their Bible, that gun in front of their flag, and then I look over here at all these patriotic Americans doing the same
Doing
thing,
the exact
with their
same
AR
thing,
in
but
front of their
instead they
flag
have bacon on their plate.
with the Bible.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like you guys are doing the same thing. It's
Mhm.
just you're scared of accepting other ways.
Exactly. Yeah. Of even accepting another person's right to have a different thought process than your own. That's the biggest issue.
You
that
should
I
be
have.
angry that they're different.
Yeah.
How dare they be
How
different?
How dare God?
Don't be afraid of the clowns, Billy. You should hate them. How dare they be different? What, my way of life ain't good enough for you?
Maybe people watched that episode and took that way to heart. They're like, this guy's right. We should hate them.
Yeah.
Yeah, some college frat boy. They're like, this guy
Yeah.
speaks the true truth.
We shouldn't be mad at them. We should hate them. or afraid of them. We shouldn't be mad. We should hate.
We should hate them. How dare they be different? No.
It's
Just
disgusting.
because
is
someone's
what it
different
is.
doesn't mean
No,
you're any
because
less of a person.
you know what they say. It's a shithole country. Everywhere there's a third world shithole country.
No
To
other
America.
country. No other country has freedom except for America.
Yep, not
And-
Canada or
and
the
we're
UK.
Only country
or,
with freedom.
We're literally a third world country wearing a Gucci belt.
Do you know how? Oh my God, my mic. Do you know how first world, second and third world became a thing? Like why that's a saying?
because we made it that way.
Well, it is because we made it that
I was
way.
gonna say
But
probably because America.
it had origins in Russia, China, Vietnam, all that. And then second world was you were neutral.
Mm.
But
The
it was
Swiss.
only affected during the Cold War era, during that whole political
standoff
imbalance. 'Cause
where
it's
we
like,
almost all died.
these are the
like-
first worlds.
It's like my least favorite part of history is the fucking Cold War. Pisses
Really?
me off.
That's your least favorite
Well, because
part?
it pisses me off.
Well, because nothing happens. There's just it's
nothing
political
but
bullshit.
sexual tension between countries.
It really is. If anything, it's like
Yeah,
America
I got
and Russia
the-
just willing to fuck really bad.
I got the bell end of my cock out pointed at Russia, and fucking Cuba's pointed at me.
I was gonna say that
Bell
whole
end of their
Cuban Missile
cock.
Crisis that could have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
That could have gone a
Did
very
you see that
wrong.
the next Call of Duty is Call of Duty Cold War?
Yep.
and it's actually
Yeah, let's
using-
just rehash that history and
so
piss everyone
this
off even
Call of
more.
Duty is getting bashed on now because it's looking more like American propaganda because
Yeah.
they're using real footage of Cold War events on this game.
I'm pretty sure that's why China's banned it.
Dude, Reagan's gonna have me go just commit some more crimes. I'm ready for it.
Yeah,
ready
as
for
if
He's
he
gonna go
didn't
make me
commit
tear
enough
down that
himself.
wall with a nuke.
Turn down that wall, Mr. Gorbachev. Yeah, we're gonna show actual footage of him like showing up, like
I have a
helping
feeling
break
it's
off
gonna
a
be
piece
in
of
it,
the
though.
wall,
It's the
and
Berlin
then we
Wall.
just nuke the shit out of the Berlin Wall.
Well, I have a feeling it's gonna end with you taking down the Berlin Wall. That's gonna be America's biggest help in freeing communism. I can see it happening on that game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be disgusting.
Which
is
sucks
what-
because a lot of the times Call of Duty is pretty on the nose about like not that kind of stance. Like with it's more like blurred lines with like who's actually it's
Who's the
never
good guy?
usually like America's the good guy and the Russians are the bad guy, even though you are shooting him for like 3 or 4 hours straight. But like Modern Warfare 2, like
It jumped around.
yeah, like I mean, yes, you played as like SAS and then like the U.S. Army and stuff, but like with the main bad guy in Modern Warfare 2 is an American general, General Shepard, and it's like we thought we had won, but I don't remember the quote, but it kind of blurs those lines, and the main enemy is an American general,
Yeah.
and you fucking kill him, and I'm like, okay, cool, but I'm kind of worried about this next one.
Yeah, I've been watching on Twitter. I watched the trailer and everything. It's real footage, real blown footage of events in the Cold War, and it looks really propagandy because it's making Russia look really bad, like
Yeah.
super bad. And in the height of this political environment,
It's the last thing we need.
yeah, right now.
Yeah, actually, there was a mission too in the recent Modern Warfare reboot, remake.
Oh,
think
the
it was the
second Modern
remaster.
Warfare 2 thing, the remake of it.
But it's like its own game. It's not a remake. It's like it's its own thing. But they just called it Modern Warfare, I guess,
Huh.
to confuse everybody. Because we already had Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and then Modern Warfare. Then
Oh yeah, that's right. We went
yeah,
back.
the newest one. But there was a mission.
That's like what
I'm
happened with
trying to
Battlefield.
remember where it was. It was an actual thing that happened, and there was like an ambush on a road somewhere, and a convoy was blown up or something, and it was something that we did, and it wasn't right. But they said in the game that the Russians were the ones who did it, and then it was a bad thing. Like they had
They're
it to where-
changing it right there.
Yeah, the Russians did it, and they were like vilifying it for it. But that actually happened, and we were the ones that blew up the convoy. But that wasn't a bad thing.
So then what?
Call of Duty, you're looking
That's
very
ex-
propagandy there.
That's what I'm saying. Is that is legitimate propaganda.
That's
That is
propaganda.
a true event.
It
and
is.
we're shifting the story that way. That's 100% propaganda.
Remember, history is written by the victors.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they say that in Modern Warfare 2.
Why do you think everything's whitewashed?
It's true.
History is written by the victors, and we thought we won.
It is said in most historical texts or anything like that, the winner writes the history because the loser's no longer there to say.
Exactly.
Yep.
They're usually dead by that point.
Yeah, they're
just
usually
because
dead.
history was all about either death or victory.
That, or if you can get enough text out saying you won, your cause is going to be smashed into the ground.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and I mean, I 100% believe it as propaganda because Call of Duty partners a lot with
The actual
the
U.S. military.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a bit of a conspiracy, I want to say, but I believe Call of Duty is used as a recruitment tool for the U.S. military.
I believe that too. I can get
I
behind
wouldn't
that.
doubt that one bit.
like
I wouldn't doubt that one bit.
it seems shifty.
To an extent,
Because it's
right?
glorifying how the army looks too. It's like, look
Oh,
how all the
100%.
cool
Look at how
things
badass
you
it
get to do.
is.
Yeah. Because
Uh-huh.
I felt like that playing Modern Warfare 2, and I'm like, dude, this is sweet. I
yeah,
feel
well,
like a badass.
I even tickled the idea of it like halfway through high school, probably junior year. I'm like, oh, maybe I should sign up for military. And
I was thinking about joining it too. Not saying it was because of Call of Duty. There were other aspects, but I feel like it, due to the glorification of being in something like the military, it definitely helped make me feel like, oh, this is something that I could do.
Like, what was it? Battlefield or was it Modern Warfare or Call of Duty? I just remember in one of those two games, you're coming out of the water and whatnot to the U.S. Navy. It's just all the ships on the water and jets are flying over.
Oh,
It's very
that was
patriotic.
That was Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah,
That was the end of the game.
It's
yeah.
like, now if that isn't glorifying our army, I don't know what is, because that looks
Exactly.
fucking sweet.
yeah,
And realistically, when is that ever going to happen?
never.
Well,
Yeah,
I guess
hardly.
nowadays it's a little more realistic that it could happen, but it hasn't happened that way, unless it's in like a simulation or like we had the first military parade in God knows how long to show off all of our like strength in terms of the military.
And
under
that's when
Trump.
you should be worried, is when you start seeing military parades.
Exactly.
Because military parades are only for the other countries to see.
Exactly.
Not for us.
Yeah,
it's
we
for
don't-
other
yeah.
countries. Because
We know we're badass. We
Russia
don't need to
does-
see it.
Russia did that all the time during the Cold War. They
Mhm.
always marched in the Red Square to show off their
Well, that's what
missiles and their army
Kim
power.
Jong does with South Korea. too.
Exactly. We're
North
just
Korea,
doing
sorry.
what these other dictators are doing to show force
Yep.
without doing force.
It's just an intimidation factor.
So
That's
again,
all it is.
Now that the parades are coming out, you gotta watch out, man.
Gotta
World War
watch
III is closer than we think. We thought it was gonna be with Korea. It just might be the whole fucking world.
Yep. Or we might
this
have
point, it might
Civil
as well
War,
be.
the sequel, Civil War 2.
God,
Electric
could you
Boogaloo.
imagine an attempt at a civil war where you have military that's completely divided on whether or not they're going to kill their own people?
Well, that's a big factor, and the other big factor is Russia.
Exactly.
As soon as America goes into civil war,
Russia,
Russia's going to jump into it. But the question
Well-
is, do they back the government or do they back the resistance in hope to
They're-
throw over the government
they're gonna
to take over
they're going
America?
to 100% back the resistance in an attempt to throw
So
over
that's
the
why
government.
it's like
The other thing
it'd
is
be curious
the
to watch them
time
hop
frame
in.
in which they're going to get involved too.
Yeah.
Are they going to jump? Are
they
they
gonna
going to
wait?
hear about a true mass like upheaval and then just be like, "Hey, we're going to provide you with all this, like ammunition, supplies, stuff
Yeah.
like that to help fight." But that's the other thing. You got all the right wings that are going to do everything they can to defend the government, even if the military fucking doesn't.
Exactly. And the
You still
military
have
is
those
only
people
there
that
to
are gonna
defend the
fight.
Constitution, not the government.
Exactly. You're not supposed to like foreign and domestic. Even if your like boss is giving you an order,
That
is
keyword,
not-
domestic.
Exactly. That is not like backed behind why you signed up for the military. Then like what? Like you're immediately going against the entire point and purpose of the U.S. military.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
It's
God.
like, come on now.
It's going to be like a reverse Red Dawn, you know. We're
Red
not
Dawn's
we're
gonna
not
be
going to be
reality.
resisting the Russians and saying Wolverines. They're going to help the resistance.
Mhm.
Well,
And then they're
Red-
going to
Red
take
Dawn,
over as the
wasn't it
world
Koreans?
power.
Oh, actually,
It
yes.
is the Koreans. Yeah.
Yeah. It changes which one you watched because the one from the 80s was like Koreans.
I thought it was China.
Or,
No, it was the Russians in the
oh, yeah.
81.
So the
Yeah,
original
actually, I
one was
think
the
the
Russians.
original was
Yeah,
And then
because
the-
that was
the
during
remake-
the Cold War. In the remake, we had the issue with North Korea.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Because I remember Josh Peck being in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, it was actually a really good movie.
Really, I never saw it.
Was
yeah,
it?
it wasn't bad.
It was Chris Hemsworth, right?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
either Chris or Liam.
I think it was
I was
Liam.
one of the
I was
Hemsworth
gonna say I
brothers.
couldn't remember if it was Liam or Chris.
Yeah.
They look
I'm
pretty
pretty-
similar.
I wanna
think
say
it's
it's
Chris.
Liam.
I'm pretty sure it's yeah. Look it up. I gotta find out. We're gonna find out this information for you, our friends. But that being said, as well, we're getting here to the end of our
Yeah, it might
Our
be time for our
grand-
closing statements.
our
Sorry,
grand
this is,
adventure with you.
This is a much more serious
Yeah, we definitely
episode.
kind of hit on a few
Oh no,
more
you're right. It's
serious
Chris
topics.
Hemsworth.
Chris
Okay.
Hemsworth. Okay,
It is Chris
cool.
Hemsworth. So there's the answer to that question, and it is about North Korea in the new one, not Russia.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, this got a little more serious, but hey, we'll
You
come
know,
back next time
And very
it'll be
all over the place too.
It'll be
Yeah,
a funny
we really
pee
were.
poo poo episode, Like,
I almost forgot that's how we started this episode. We started it off with absolute gutter toilet humor, and we finished it
started
off
out
talking about
lighthearted.
World War III and how close it is, and how you should be ready to fight your own government, ladies and gentlemen.
Be
Yes.
ready. Remember, the government. Be ready to fight them.
One thing that you should always remember about the government is that their entire point and purpose is to lie to you and keep you all as indoctrinated as possible into fulfilling their own goals, as well as the corporations that pay for the congressmen to remain there.
let us run to the North Woods and start our own colonization.
And let Russia help us with the overthrow so that they can eventually
Remember,
become the world power
The trees
and overthrow
speak,
our government.
but they don't speak English. And
I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees, but for some fucking reason they speak Vietnamese.
And on that note, we are going to have to call it. This has been a wonderful episode with your host, Nookie Puss.
Captain Daddy, that's me.
And this guy in the corner.
And the guy in the corner
We'll
who
let you
won't
figure
stop
out who that
masturbating.
is. Maybe one day we'll tell you who it is. But until then, you can just write us letters and think who it guess
Oh,
it is.
please write us letters. Fuck leaving comments on our shit. Just write us a letter.
Be a pen pal.
Be a pen pal to your local elderly folks' home because all they want to do is talk about church and war stories.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, we will catch you guys next time on episode.
Which episode are
5
we
or
on?
6?
This
It'll be-
is 5.
5.
The one we're recording right now is 5, or
Right
we're
now
gonna
is
release
5.
5 to. Oh,
So we're gonna be. It's gonna be. We'll catch you guys the next
we'll
time.
catch you guys
Yeah,
next
see
time.
ya. Oh, here comes the outro music.
Oh wait, no, it should be through the fire.